I don't want to associate with any of these fuckers. Like, I just want to sit here, see the doctor, get my meds, and be out. Hi guys, Shalyn here. To start off, I'm going to tell you something personal about me. I have PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and I've been on medication for about 3 years now. Before I moved to the city, I had a doctor back home, and I told them that I was moving, so they prescribed me a couple of months worth of medication. But when I moved here, I kind of put finding a doctor on the back burner, because I was like, well, I still have some meds left, so I'm like, whatever. And I thought that would be easy to find a doctor in the city because there's so many, but that turns out to be not true. First, I got health insurance. And I told the lady who was helping me get insurance, I said, hey, I'm going to be running out of medication at the end of the month. If I can't find a doctor, what can I do? And she told me, she gave me an address. She's like, oh, no problem, just go here and they'll be able to give you a refill on your medication, no problem. That day, I had a couple days left of medication. I'm like, I have to go to that place now. I had found this center. I went to the second floor. And I finally got a hold of a guy who was in his little cubicle. And I told him my story. I was like, I'm new to the city. I'm on medication. I don't have a doctor yet. I was told to come here and I'd be able to get a refill on my medication. And he tells me there's nothing he can do for me. He's like, there's nothing I can do. You need to go to the emergency room. And then he tells me to lie to the nurses. He tells me, in order to see a doctor, if I were you, I would tell them, your stomach hurts or something. And I'm like, you think that the doctor's gonna prescribe me psych meds for a stomach ache? Go to the emergency room, I find it, and I'm waiting in line. There's a couple people worried. I'm like, do I really have to lie to these people to see a doctor? I just need a refill on my medication. Of course I'm gonna tell the truth. So I gave him the same story. I said, hey, he goes like this. He's very serious, and he goes, okay, I'm gonna warn you right now. They're gonna take you up there. They're going to go through all your belongings, and there's no say of how long you're gonna be in there. Wait, so you're telling me they're gonna put me in the mental hospital because I need a refill on my medication? Now I start panicking. I don't wanna be there, and plus my family's not here. I don't even know my mom's number by heart right now. There's gotta be something else I can do. Isn't there a clinic I can go to? And then he's like, oh yeah, there's the clinic. It's right around the back. And he told me to go in the morning. He's like, be there at 8 a.m. I was like, I went the next morning. The lady at the front, the receptionist, and I tell her the same story I told everyone else. I'm like, I just need refill on my medication. She tells me, same thing the other guy told me, there's nothing I can do for you. She goes, you have to go to the emergency room. Are you kidding me? They're giving me the runaround. I texted my mom, holy shit, the clinic can't do anything for me. They're telling me to go to the emergency room. I might end up being in the hospital. So I go to the emergency room, and there's new people in there, and I tell her the story, and the girl goes, oh, you need a refill on your medication? No problem. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, fill out this paperwork, take a seat, the nurse will be with you. Like, really? Why didn't they tell me this last night? I filled out the paperwork, the nurse came and got me. They're like, there's gonna be a nurse and a security guard. They're gonna come get you and bring you upstairs. Security guard? Why do they need to escort me with a security guard? So I'm sitting there waiting, and then the girl comes with a security guard. They bring me into a room, and she starts going through my things. She's like, empty your pockets. This is just standard procedure. And the security guard was really nice. She's like, all right, we're gonna bring you up, and we're gonna go through the same procedure. They bring me into the elevator. We go to another floor. And they walked me through this room. It literally looked like a scene from The Walking Dead. An abandoned nurse station. It was completely filthy. Everything was broken. Where am I right now? What is going on? So they bring me in, and then I asked the girl, she's asking me these questions. Oh, you need a refill? I'm like, yeah. I told her what I take. And I'm like, what is this? She's like, this is the psych unit. She said, it's not the hospital. It's just where they bring you before you go into the hospital. Everyone that needs to see the doctor for psych medication has to go through this process. But don't worry, you'll be in there and you're gonna see the doctor in about an hour. They went through all my stuff, they put it in these bags. They made me take even my plugs out. I'm like, why my plug? There's nothing sharper. She's like, oh, you'd be surprised, if someone gets it, they'll literally go up to you and stab you. They made me go like this with my bra, and shake it to make sure I didn't have anything in my bra. It was crazy. She made me put my hands on the wall, patted me down, everything. He changed my socks. I had to put hospital socks on. Then they brought me in and there was like this big waiting room. There's a nurse station and like a hall with all these rooms, and it was filthy. It was disgusting. So I sat in the waiting room and they're like, yeah, don't worry, you should see the doctor in about an hour. Literally about 2 hours go by and I haven't seen the doctor. Why is this taking so long? And then they bring up a food tray for lunch and they're like, Shalyn, and like, I'm not fucking eat. Like, I am not a patient. I'm not a patient here. I'm here to get my refill and go home. And I was pretty fucking hungry too. Like, I just want to go home and make taco dip. That's all I want to do. Say about another hour passes before I actually get to see the doctor. So I talked to the doctor. He's like, okay. I told him my story, everything. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna do all this paperwork and then we'll get you out of here. I'm like, okay, cool. And this is when I started to get a little upset. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to watch TV, waiting, and I see this guy walk past me, walk back, walk past, and I could tell he's you just know when someone's like looking at you or sitting there. I'm like, please don't fucking talk to me. Like, leave me the fuck alone. And of course he starts talking to me and he's like, yo girl, you looking good, coming on to me. I'm like, thanks, and he just kept fucking talking. And he's like, yo,
I'm really trying to bust a nut.
If this was anywhere else, if I was out in public and someone said this to me, I fucking punch them in the face. But in that environment, since they're monitoring people, if I did that, they'd label me as hostile, crazy, whatever. They would mark that down and I know that I'd be stuck in that fucking hospital. I just gotta sit here, just try to get him away. So I tell him, I'm like, sorry, I'm lesbian. I actually have a girlfriend. And I thought that might get him away. No, he says to me, how about you just come walk over here? He wanted me to stand in front of, because he was definitely in one of the rooms. He wanted me to stand in front of his room so he could look at me while he jerked off. I was just like, no. Like, sorry, no, I'm not gonna do that. And finally he just went away. After he said that to me, I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. Why is this taking so fucking long? I started getting worried and upset. I wasn't crying yet, but I was sitting there upset, on the verge about to cry. And the nurse looked at me and she's like, are you okay? And then I just started crying. I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore. She comes over to me and she goes, listen, if you don't calm down, they're going to keep you here even longer. If I act any certain way, like they're watching me, they're going to put me in that fucking hospital. So I literally had to get my shit together. Don't cry, don't get upset, just keep it together and sit there. I'm there for about 6 hours now. A guy calls me into another office and I'm like, okay, good, like they're gonna like get me my shit, I'm gonna be able to leave. I go into this office and this guy starts asking me the same questions the other doctor did. Why are you here? What medication? Like, what brought you here? I'm like, are you a doctor? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, I already seen a doctor. And he's like, it doesn't say that on here. Now I'm freaking the fuck out. Are they trying to make me crazy? Oh my God. I'm thinking, are they gonna put me through the same process? Am I gonna be here till tomorrow? What is going on? I already saw the doctor. What do you mean it's not in the system? Like, I literally asked him, what's going on? I've been here for almost 6 hours now just to get refill my medication. And he's like, okay, all right, yeah, just go back in the waiting room. And then the nurse came up to me and she goes, listen, they know how long you've been here. You need to relax, otherwise they're gonna still keep you here. This is a nightmare. Now I'm like trying so hard not to cry. I literally felt like I was never gonna get out of this fucking place. The first doctor I seen, he came out to me, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, but like, what's going on? He apologized and he's like, don't worry, we're gonna get you out of here soon. It's gonna be okay. I'm like, all right, like, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. I should not be here this long. And get your shit together. Are you kidding me? You don't have my info on the computer. I already saw the doctor. It's just so unorganized. What the fuck kind of place is this? And why would you put someone through this shit? I was there for a total of 9 hours before I got out. When I walked in there, I was like happy, like, joking with the security, joking with all of them. Now when I was leaving, I looked like I was like in an accident or something. Like I was just traumatized by this. And now they're about to take me out, and I just keep thinking, I can't wait to call my fucking mom. I was holding so many tears back because I was so scared. I can't believe I was there for 9 hours to get a refill on my med. Like, that's just ridiculous. They sent my prescription over to a pharmacy that's right next to the hospital. This is what like tops it all off. She goes, they only prescribed you a week's worth. I'm like, 7 pills. They were like, were you in the Harlem hospital? I was like, yeah. They're like, that is the worst hospital in the city. 7 days, I start like crying. They're like, it's okay. Like, and they were in shock too. Why would they do that? And even the pharmacist, he couldn't believe it either. He tried helping me too. He felt so bad. But like a fucking hospital puts someone through all that shit for 7 pills? I thought about writing a complaint, but I feel like there would be no point in doing so because everyone in the city knows it's an awful hospital. So my advice, if any of you guys are in New York, and even if you hurt yourself or have a stomach ache, do not go to the Harlem hospital. Go anywhere else, Even though it wasn't very like mushy and sexy, thought I'd switch it up and share that with you. Thank you. You don't own me.